So you've probably heard of some different myths about St. George, Utah. Well, today we are going to clear the air. I'm going to share with you 4 myths about St. George that I think you should know if you are thinking about making a move here to the Beehive State. Hey there, Mariah Koehle here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. This YouTube channel is all about making a move to Utah, relocating here, buying real estate. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below and make sure you tap that bell for notifications so you're notified every week we drop a new video. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move, relocate, buy, sell, build a property here in Utah, and we absolutely love it. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, day, night, weekend. We would love to connect with you and see how we can assist. So there are a lot of myths about St. George, Utah particularly. And today I thought, let's just clear the air. Let's just talk about some of these things that sometimes people maybe don't want to talk about, or they've heard about these different things. And I just say, you know what, let's chat about it. And again, these are from my own personal opinions and my own experiences. Perhaps you have had something different. But number one of the myths about Utah is it's just all desert, especially in St. George. People say, oh my gosh, St. George is just such a desert and it is so dry and it is so hot. Well, let me share with you some of my thoughts. Yes, St. George does have a lot of desert landscape. Yes, it can get very hot, especially during the summertime, but it is not all desert. One of the things that you're going to notice about St. George is the way it is situated. There are a lot of mountains and plateaus and valleys around St. George, but there are also you're going to see a lot of greenery. You're going to see a lot of parks. You're going to, depending on the time of year, you're going to see all the incredible golf courses. There are so many golf courses here in St. George, and a lot of the different things that kind of go along with, being a desert. Yes, we are in a desert sort of climate, but it feels different than perhaps if you are living in Arizona and you see a lot of the cacti and all of that. This here in St. George, yes, it is dry. Yes, it, has desert landscape, but there are also a lot of different things here that make it so there is a lot of greenery, and there are a lot of reservoirs and rivers that kind of come in and around through St. George. Myth number two is that St. George is all part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as Mormons. Well, there is a large population. In fact, over 50% of the population here in the St. George area are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Is it all entirely? Absolutely not. In fact, there's a really diverse population that is here in St. George. So yes, there are a lot of members of the faith, but there are also a lot of members that are not of the faith. So something to go in, and I know I've had a lot of clients that'll reach out and say like, oh, I'm not a member of that faith, and how am I going to fit in, and how am I going to adjust? And I always say your vibe attracts your tribe. So whatever it is that you are into, whatever it is that your hobbies, your interests, your work, whatever that is, oftentimes you're going to find other like-minded people wherever it is that you are spending time. So if you are an avid golfer, you're going to probably find more avid golfers doing what you're doing. If you are really into mountain biking, you're going to probably find your people mountain biking. If you're into pickleball, if you are into the arts and theater and music, you're probably going to find your people there. If you are into church, if you are, all those different things. So where you spend time is probably where you're going to find the people that you are looking for. So that is myth number 2. Myth number 3 about St. George, Utah is it is simply just too hot and too unbearable to live in. Well, let me share my experience and share some different things with you. And number 1 is that, yes, St. George, it can get really hot here. In fact, June, July, and August, typically we're going to have temperatures around the hundreds. It will get over 100 many times, and then it will cool down to mid 70s or high 60s at nighttime. So June, July, August, you are going to see steady heat, June being less hot than, for example, August, and it is going to be hot. For some people, they're like, it is so unbearably hot, I can't even deal with it. A lot of people will do, their sports or recreation in the morning, or they'll do it, in the evening time, or they'll do it indoors too. So kind of breaking up those times. But yes, it does get hot. For some, like I said, it might feel unbearable, but it also is what we call more of a dry heat here. And that dry heat means it oftentimes you don't have all that humidity. So because you don't have the humidity, it doesn't feel as hot as somewhere that has a lot more humidity. So keep that in mind. And then the rest of the year is more of a mild climate. Yes, a lot more of a mild climate. Winters, you're rarely going to see snow. If it does snow, it sticks for an hour or so and then it's gone. Yes, you will see snow in the mountains, but typically right here in St. George, you will not experience a lot of that. And then fall is very pleasant. Same with spring. And a lot of people will snowbird here because they love this more mild climate and it isn't hot all the time. In fact, you can tell today is actually really pretty a windy day, and the climate, I'm wearing a couple of sweatshirts today because a little bit chilly actually. So it is not always hot. Myth number 4 is there is nothing to do here in St. George. Well, that is simply just not true. And here, it depends on your perspective. And this is why I always say, even like sometimes, my kids will open up the refrigerator at home and be like, there's nothing to eat. And I'm like, well, what about this, right? Well, same thing goes to be said about things to do here in St. George. It just depends what you're interested in. It depends on what you want to do. If you are looking at going to Broadway shows every single day, St. George may not be the best fit for you. Or if you want to go see NFL games or NBA games all the time, St. George may not be the right fit for you. However, if you want to hike and bike and play pickleball, and you want to be part of musical groups and part of different arts, part of a community, part of, what Utah and specifically St. George has to offer, you're going to find a lot of things to do here. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. If there are not, maybe, like I said, if you're wanting to do some of those things that St. George doesn't offer, St. George may not be the best fit for you, but St. George does have a ton of things for, everything from people who are single, from college students, from people who have a family, to those who are looking to retire or retired, whether, that's golf or, being involved with the community. St. George has a lot to offer. So going back to those 4 myths, it's all desert, it's only Mormon, it's too hot, and there's nothing to do. For me, simply, I don't see that as, really factors here in St. George. But if you are thinking about St. George and you're thinking, you know what? Maybe St. George is still on the radar for you and you're thinking about making a move or relocating here. My team and I hear from people like you all the time and we love it. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email if you want a copy of our free Moving to St. George, Utah guide. Comment down below the word guide and we would love to send that over to you. Wishing you a fantastic rest of your day and week, and we'll talk with you soon. Take care and have a great one. Bye.